And I want to play you a video that went viral in the last few days. It's got millions of views on social media. It's by a YouTube account by the name of Vegas Starfish, and her name is Jennifer G. And she put out a video that is very factually accurate, and I think it stunned a lot of people about what is going on economically just right here in Las Vegas when it comes to layoffs. Watch this video.
Here's some Las Vegas breaking news that hasn't made the news yet. MGM Resorts just told all of their concierge employees across all of their properties, with the exception of Aria and Bellagio, that they are being laid off. This is a couple weeks after laying off the valet, doorman, and bellman at Excalibur and announcing the closure of the Luxor buffet. We know that travel and tourism is down. Aside from global issues, that we are headed for a recession and they are tightening up their spending. But what's going on at MGM feels a little bit bigger than that. Multiple executives in recent months have resigned or are rumored to be considering resignation, with small downsizings and rumors of more occurring at multiple properties. This is after raising resort fees and parking fees twice in 2024. Fees keep going up and amenities are being scaled back. It feels like everyone's trying to be tight-lipped about this, but I think we need to talk about it. Are more layoffs coming? Is this a sign of the times? Let me know what you think and follow me for all the Vegas.
All right, so there you go. That video went viral, and the person who actually put that video together and did a very good job of it, her name is Jennifer G., also known as Vegas Starfish on YouTube, and she joins us right now. Jennifer, thank you so much for being here. It's good to see you. How are you?
Good to see you too. I'm great.
Jennifer, good to see you. Thank you so much for doing this. When you put that video together, did you have any idea that it would explode and go viral the way it did? And why do you think it did?
You never know when you put together a video whether or not it's going to go viral, but videos like that tend to go viral because I'm not sharing information that people don't know. I'm echoing the fears that I think a lot of people have right now.
Okay, so cause and effect, and that makes a lot of sense to me. A lot of people, and I'm one of them, feel like some of Donald Trump's policies, like tariffs, are ruining parts of the economy and turning Vegas into some sort of ghost town. Do you agree with that? And what are your thoughts on that?
So I stay strictly apolitical on my channel because I'm about tourism and that doesn't have a political affiliation. But I think it's undeniable that the economy is unstable right now and that we have someone at the helm who is also unpredictable and unstable. And that's a bad combination. Vegas is not a ghost town. Vegas is still fine domestically. We're down, I think, 8% year over year, which is not significant considering we had the Super Bowl and F1 and post-COVID boom. So there's like a natural ebb and flow that should be expected. The reason I made the video I did is very often we look at things in hindsight and we say, oh my gosh, where did this come from? How did we get here? And I feel like I was sounding the alarms ahead of what's still to come. When international tourism dips, even though it only makes up like 12% of our gross revenue in Vegas, it's an indicator of bigger problems. And this is kind of like the early stages of what I think is going to be a significant downturn. MGM Resorts International is the largest employer in Nevada, and they spend a ton of money on efficiency and running their properties so that they don't get into crisis mode, which is what makes them better than Caesars Entertainment and some of the competitors. I think they're the only wholly profitable major gaming corporation in the world right now. And part of why they remain that way is because they stay ahead of the market trends. And it's not just, I haven't done another video on it yet, but it's not just concierge. They're streamlining wardrobe departments and laundry departments, and they're trying to absorb those employees internally. But the fact that they're doing so many targeted streamlinings in areas that are meant to just provide extra comfort and amenities tells me that they are aware that we're headed for trouble and they're trying to get ahead of it so that they can minimize their losses.
That makes a lot of sense. And they're sadly, I believe, correct, because if you speak to most economists that are not political, they would say we're most likely headed towards a recession. So that makes complete sense to me. Do you agree with me, Jennifer, that usually, not all the time, but how the Vegas economy is doing sometimes reflects in a whole how the country is doing?
I think so. I think one of the caveats is that when people get desperate, they will gamble. So sometimes we'll hold on a little bit longer than other major tourism cities. But where we're very strong is our conferences, our convention. And when those start to go down, it's an indicator that companies are reeling back on spending and part of a bigger picture.
Yeah, that certainly makes sense to me. Can you just give people the rundown and maybe go in a little bit more detail? I know the video, it's a short video, it's a great video, but how
Thank you.
many actual people at these MGM properties around, how many people have actually lost their jobs just in the last month or so?
So the company line right now is 34. People who work in the department say that it was closer to 60. But it's not just one department, it's multiple layoffs in multiple departments. And a lot of them are being absorbed internally to do other things. But again, we're at the very beginning stages of what
Mhm.
might be a crash out. I've learned to kind of trust the business owners in my community. When I did not believe that the last election was going to go in the direction that it did, all of the people, the big money in Vegas that I'm fortunate enough to chat with, said, don't be so sure. We're pretty confident that it's going to go the way that it did go. And I followed the money lines on Kalshi, which is a questionably legal betting site where you can wager on things like incoming presidents. And the money line said that Trump was going to win, and all logic pointed the other way, and they were
Right.
correct. So, what I've learned is to follow the money. And the big economists here in Vegas, the ones that are in the business market, are telling me that we will crash out, but we will rebound because we're in a better place than we were in 2008. And that there are better safety measures because 2008 devastated the valley here.
Mhm.
We're in a better place. We have better loans. Our infrastructure is better to withstand the fallout. After we made it through COVID, we put a lot of changes in place. So I think it's going to get bad, but I think that we will be okay ultimately.
Why do you think, Jennifer, that there are those sorts of wealthy individuals and business people that adamantly believed that Donald Trump was going to win the election? Why do you think that is?
I think that people who are good at business typically are so because they're intuitive to what the markets need and what the markets can bear. And where I grossly underestimated the opposing party is while they were fighting for issues like women's rights and trans rights, those are important but fringe issues that we're overlooking the fact that we've got a lot of Americans that feel desperate, that can't pay their rent, that can't, they're working 60 hours a week to break even. They have no quality of life. And history has proven that when people feel desperate, they will vote against their hearts and their own wants, personal wants, if they believe it will improve their economic situation.
Mhm.
And regardless of where you are politically, the Democratic Party has talked a big game and consistently failed to deliver significant change. So I think a lot of the people that voted for Trump weren't doing so because they liked him or they even think that he's sane. They did so because they're desperate. They're hoping anything would come in. And there's a lot of people, my mom is one of them, who believe that, because he was appeared to be successful in business, he could theoretically be successful
Mhm.
in, fixing the economics of our country. But I think that America in general is over leveraged and headed for a crash out. And I think it was coming no matter the party. This is just sort of expediting it.
And I would say that a lot of those people, and I agree with you that a lot of those people did feel desperate, and maybe that's the reason why some of those people voted for Donald Trump. I would also say some of those people are probably not too happy with the first 100 days or so, and that's probably why he has the lowest approval numbers in decades. But we'll have to wait and see how it goes from there. All right. So, what advice would you give? With the knowledge that you have. You've said that right in front of us, it doesn't look very good, and there might be a recession, right? I think you would probably agree with that. But as you said, we're going to be okay and we're going to get through it. So for people out there right now that have lost their jobs, it could be people here in Las Vegas. It could be anybody across the country. Maybe they've lost their 401ks, their stock market, you name it, right? There's a lot of people that are really struggling right now. What would be your advice to them? And tell them why you believe that we are going to get through this and we're going to rebound.
The best advice in business that I ever got came from the show Game of Thrones.
Mm.
And there was a character in the show, Littlefinger, who said, chaos is a ladder. And anytime things are chaotic, there's an opportunity to capitalize on that chaos and improve your circumstance. As evidenced by COVID, when things were arguably at their all-time worst, a lot of people used that time to transition into new careers and build something for themselves and make decisions that positively changed their entire lives. I would say that no matter how scary it gets, remember that chaos is a ladder and that there's opportunity to use this sort of dark time to find needs in the market and fill them with your skill set and build that so that you become more recession proof going forward.
I think that's really good advice. Jennifer, before I let you go, you obviously have a massive following, particularly on YouTube. I think, correct me if I'm wrong, you're somewhere around 500,000 subscribers, which is quite a lot. But for people that want to follow you and want to learn more about you and what you do, where should people go?
Actually, YouTube's my smallest platform. I have four
Oh,
and a
really?
half million across 7 platforms now.
Oh,
TikTok and IG are my primary platforms with a couple
wow.
million on each. But I show people what to do in Vegas. I'm definitely not an economist or a prediction analyst,
Mhm.
but I think that if you look at any market close enough, it's a good litmus test for what the people living in that market are experiencing.
Yeah, I certainly agree with you. Jennifer, keep up the great work, and we really do appreciate you taking the time to join us. Thank you so much, and hopefully we can talk again down the road. Thank you so much.
Have a good day. Bye.
Thank you. You too. That's Jennifer G, everybody. She had the viral video that went out, which we had just played, with the layoffs taking place at MGM properties, everybody from bellman to makeup artists and so on and so forth. And she's saying that could be a sign of things to come down the road. And I'm saying, and many economists are saying, that could be a recession. So we appreciate her for joining us.